Coming up on Bloom, we're celebrating Pride Month with some of the top celebrities in the music industry. And join us in the Bloom kitchen for French cuisine with a healthy twist. And find out more about the growing virtual fitness trend. All that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Maggie Rodriguez, filling in for Gail today. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, a full hour dedicated to your health and wellness. So get ready to bloom. Joining me today as my special co-host is publicist to the stars, Matt Dillon. Matt, welcome. It's so nice to have you here.
It is an honor to be doing this next to you, my darling.
And I know that we're going to have a great time.
Oh, I know it. Don't you wish ya?
Don't you wish ya? That's a little tease of what's ahead today as we celebrate Pride Month.
And for many of us in the LGBT community, it's about living an authentic journey and creating a dream life.
And that is something I know, Matt, that I know you have personally done yourself. We see you everywhere. Real Housewives of Miami, your many celebrity clients, and you still fit in time to do a lot of other things. What's your secret?
I think the secret is consistency of stepping up, stepping forward, and saying yes to as many things as possible. And as I've gotten a little older, things that really tug at your heart, things that mean something to you. I'm blessed to be able to fuse my work life and my private and fun life together, and work at an amazing foundation, Zoological Wildlife Foundation, and everybody that follows me is like, this chimp, this chimp, this chimp. The chimp Limbani is the greatest blessing that I've ever had in my entire existence. I'm definitely a animal over human kind of person, but I love you, Maggie.
No, but how could you not love him? I mean, that face. How did it come to be that you came to, well, I think we should actually start from the beginning, if you don't mind, since we're celebrating Pride Month here on the show today.
Hang on.
Before we get to your work with the stars, which I do want to talk about, would you mind sharing your coming out story?
Absolutely. I want to preface it first that coming out stories, there's good, there's bad, there's ugly. And I'm blessed to be birthed by the best mother, woman, and human being that I've ever, that I've ever had in the world, in my eyes. The type of woman that looks at you and just says, hey, I know this is this. Whatever you need, can I ask questions? Is it okay if I ask you questions? And is it okay if we research things together so I understand, so I can get off your back and let you live the life that you're meant to live? Because you're a star, honey, go and shine. Really?
So at what age did that conversation happen?
This is the funny part. The first inkling of being different was when I was watching Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren.
So, oh, Dolph Lundgren!
I was like, you didn't expect that one coming.
No, hey!
And that so it was about 12, 13 years old. And it was through the peak of high school, and it was terrible, and it was the worst of times. But I walked out of those school doors, and with my mother's voice inside my head, when I left school and walked out those gates, I started a new life from that day.
Really?
From that very day. And it's not as easy as that for people. Small towns. I moved from Sydney, Australia to America. That's a big jump, but it's like city to city. I'm a firm believer in doing things on your own time, being safe about it, but we live in a world now where anything, just human to human respect.
Sure.
Don't be afraid anymore is the advice that I would give anybody watching that has a child that might be later in life and thinking, I've lived this whole other life, and perhaps this is the truistic person that I am. So I'm all about do what's right for you. Nobody can tell you who you are, ever. Be who you are, live it proudly, live it on your own terms, because, honey, you only get one life to live, and my mother laid the framework for me.
You were so lucky to have her.
Because there's many that aren't.
I know.
And
you hear so many stories.
It's frightening. It's frightening, and we live in a world that's uneasy and shaky, and I just, for my family, brothers and sisters out there, it does get better, and you can live an amazing life, and don't make being gay the main thing about you. I'm Matt Dillon first and foremost. I don't introduce myself as, hey, this is what I do. share as little or as much as you're comfortable with ever, and be you first. The rest of it is like you're the trunk of the tree, and everything else is the branches.
Well, you have some pretty great branches. I mean, I mean that as a compliment. You're all the celebrities in your life, or all your branches. How did that start, and what's your advice to somebody who thinks, I want to chase my dream like that and make it?
Don't be afraid to ask for things. And that is the key to everything that I've ever achieved in my life, and continuing to do so. I've always said, and as I've reached, I was 40 in January this year.
Oh, happy birthday.
My biggest lesson that I've learned is that a no is something temporary, because a no can always be finessed, positioned, repositioned into a yes. So me being a celebrity publicist was, you reach out to 10 different people, one says yes, and that begets another and another and another, and you put the effort in. You do hard
You
work.
certainly live that. You live those words. I mean, I see how hard you work.
Living the dream is not living in like a bubble. Living the dream is sweat, and you're a testament to that too. Your long, varied career, and now you're living your dream on your own terms with your family.
Yep.
And you're a testament to that, and you're an inspiration to me. And I hope you know that.
Thank you.
To do this with you today
Thank
is
you.
like...
Well, right back at you, Matt, and thanks. We're going to have a fun show. We're going to share this story with you on BloomTampaBay.com.
And stick around. We're talking to one of the founding members of the global pop phenomenon, the Pussycat Dolls, my friend, Carmit Bachar, an LGBTQ icon and ally.
Of course, she said yes to Matt to come on the show today. Bloom will be right back. Welcome back to Bloom. Today we're celebrating Pride Month, and our next guest is one of the founding members of the global pop phenomenon, the Pussycat Dolls.
She's also an LGBTQ icon, an ally who has danced for the likes of Beyonce, Ricky Martin, and Janet Jackson.
And she's been on a health and wellness journey from the day she was born with cleft and lip palate.
Please welcome my friend, Carmit Bachar.
Ooh, so cool.
Hello, good morning. How's everybody feeling today?
Good.
Doing great. Happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So you are widely known as one of the members of the global pop group, the Pussycat Dolls. Why do you think the music of PCD has stood the test of time, and in particular with the LGBTQ community, championing it decades after its release?
You know, I'm so grateful. I think what we created collectively was not just music, not just our image, but the message of empowerment, something that everybody needs, and it's timeless. So the music stands for itself. I mean, I always say that I never get tired of performing it. It's incredible. It's so fun. And yeah, and I think it's like our anthem, I don't need a man, right? I don't need anybody. It's a metaphor, obviously, for I don't need anybody. I got myself and I can do this. So the message of empowerment.
I was going to ask you, what is your favorite Pussycat Dolls song or your anthem that you live by? So would that be the answer?
It's a tie, though, between Don't Ya and Buttons. I mean, Buttons is a classic, but Don't Ya never, it's like, it came out in summer. It was our first one. I heard it on the radio. It was like, you know, and it just never gets old. It's just, it gets everybody out of their seat and moving and pumping and grinding, right?
Well, we were singing it before we sat here to talk to you. I mean, yeah.
Let's get it, girl.
Love it.
Oh, sorry. We also wanted to talk to you about your health and your journey, because a lot of people may not realize that you were born with both a cleft lip and palate. First of all, can you tell us what that is and what it meant for you as a child to grow up with that?
Yeah. Well, you actually said it, interestingly enough. You know, being born with cleft lip and cleft palate, I literally was thrust into a journey of healing. My entire life has been about navigating through surgeries, and kind of it incorporates mental and health wellness as well. So, you know, being able to live my dream in this industry, which was a struggle in itself to get past, you know, my insecurities of image and which kind of clouded my judgment, like, oh, well, no, this is my blessing. This is my gift. This is what I want to do. This is what I feel connected to. I also had to deal with the reality of what was going on with me. So I literally feel like my life has been a journey of healing.
I want to talk about, in terms of giving back, using that journey now, Carmit, in terms of work with Operation Smile, which I think is very important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an ambassador of Operation Smile for over 15 years now. It's been an incredible platform for me to be connected with. Obviously, you know, it's great to be a pop star. It's also important to have a message and something that's important to you, something that you can feel you can give back to. But I've gotten so much in return just by going on this mission that you see here now in Bolivia, and being able to be with the children and know exactly what they were experiencing pre and post surgery. That mother of that little girl you were just looking at asked me to be her godmother. So it's been a profound experience and something that's so rewarding in my life to be able to give back to.
Who was your champion when you were growing up with this? Because I bet that people like you weren't doing Operation Smile, didn't have a lot of people to guide them.
Yeah, well, my mom has always been my champion, and you know, my parents kind of living their dream, watching them do that. But in the industry, there weren't that many people with cleft lip and cleft palate. I remember knowing that Stacy Keach was somebody. Now we know that Joaquin Phoenix is, but for guys, they can hide it with a mustache. Joaquin doesn't, but there are not too many other females that I know of, you know, that are also speaking about their journey as well.
What would be a message that you had leading the life that you have lived to anyone that's, you know, going through an internal dialogue in themselves when it comes to sexuality, Carmit?
That's an intense one. I think because today we have so many influences, social media. You know, my daughter is 11, so she sees a lot, she hears a lot. And especially going through puberty, you're questioning a lot. You're curious, and that's understandable. I think the most important thing is to find who you can have a safe space with, to ask questions, to be curious, to explore before you kind of dive into something or be influenced by something else. So at the end of the day, we want to all be fully expressed and accepted and loved and included. And so, yeah, I think it's about being your authentic self and finding that. And sometimes there's a lot of chatter, right? So we have to kind of go inward and make sure that we hear what resonates for ourselves.
Well, beautifully said. Nice way to wrap up everything. Thank you, my friend Carmit, for coming on and being a part of this. We're going to share this story on bloomtampabay.com.
Thank you so much, Carmit. And up next, we'll be catching up with celebrity gossip blogger and OG influencer Perez Hilton. Bloom will be right back.
Welcome back to Bloom. I'm guest co-host Matt Dillon, along with my friend Maggie Rodriguez, who's filling in for Gail today.
We have a great lineup of guests, including a man who's known as the OG influencer, celebrity gossip blogger Perez Hilton.
Perez, it's so great to see you, my friend.
Hello, I am the OG, but thankfully, unlike dinosaurs, I'm still kicking.
You're widely known as the OG and started the celebrity gossip wave, how it was reported, with decades of stories, good, bad, ugly, all under your belt. What would the Perez of today say to the boy who had that idea and acted out on it, ultimately creating the global empire known as Perez Hilton? What would that little boy say?
I would say be smarter with your money, save more, and absolutely encourage him to do that, because when you're young, that is the time for you to make all the mistakes, try everything you want to do, because when you get older, you have children sometimes, or just more responsibilities. And I don't know about you, but I've become a little bit more cautious with my older age, and I probably wouldn't be as risky today as I was back then. But I would absolutely encourage myself to do that and just be smarter with my money. You know, I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger.
Yes, but you know what? You have grown a lot since then, acknowledged past mistakes. You know, when you went too far sometimes with how you approach certain topics, you've changed your ways, which has enabled you to still keep doing it. Can you talk about that transformation and how it happened?
Yeah, you know, I used to do things very differently. And having said that, and I've apologized a lot, there are a lot of hypocrites out there, because if I was doing things the exact same way that I was back in the day, there would still be a very large audience for that. People would eat it up still. However, I don't want to do that anymore, and I've evolved, and I could still have an opinion and share my thoughts and be honest, but do it in a way that's not nasty or purposefully cruel or hurtful.
I like that.
I know that we're seeing some video of your kids, your family, a big part of your life right now, and you like to share your adventures on your YouTube channel. So let's take a look before we talk about it.
Kids, close your eyes. 1, 2, 3. That's me.
So there you are showing them. Talk to us about what you were showing them and what that conversation was like.
Well, it's Pride Month, and I was on the cover of a local magazine here in Las Vegas, celebrating my move to Vegas. I'm living here now full-time, and we did magical work to transform me into a very Vegas Pride spectacular creation.
Oh,
it's kind of like
amazing.
And you know, it took my kids a moment to soak that all in because I don't look like that normally.
I love that. I love that. I want to talk being Pride Month. Do you see yourself settling down with a partner in the future? You know, blending a family, becoming that, you know, is that a dream of yours as well as continuing the empire and your health journey? What's the next, you know, few years look like for Perez?
You know, a few things. It's absolutely an aspiration of mine. In the back of my mind, I think I've always felt like that would happen for me in my 50s at some point, which is actually not that far away from me now. I'm 45. And I also think that living in Las Vegas full time, it might be easier for me than in Los Angeles. I just love living here, and I love that the community here has embraced me in a way that I didn't really feel in Los Angeles.
I like that.
And what about on a personal side with your children? Can you maybe give some advice to others about how do you talk to your children about, you know, acceptance and all these topics right now that are so important to discuss during Pride Month?
Well, that is a great question. And I actually have a book that might help you have wonderful conversations with your kids. I wrote a children's book called The Boy with Pink Hair, and it's about being different. And I like to speak to my kids in ways that are always honest and age appropriate. And I began the conversation about how our family is different by explaining to them how lucky they are that their grandmother lives with them, which is thing.
Oh no, we're frozen.
With non-Latinos.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, Perez. Thank you for your time and thank you for sharing the story with us. We're going to put it on bloomtampabay.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bloom. More people are going virtual when it comes to getting in shape.
Joining us now is personal trainer and online fitness coach, Jeff Eaton. Jeff, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me today.
You're welcome.
Doing well.
So, online fitness coach. A lot of people really are doing this virtually?
Yeah, it's a new trend, especially after COVID happened. Everyone was trying to find something to do. Also, a lot of people are calling it's a new term called biohacking. So biohacking is like your smartwatch collects the data for you, or like fasting or intermittent fasting. It allows you to change your body at will if you want, or any way and any desire.
Okay.
And it's quite like, it's a new term I'm coming to learn and pick up on, so it's kind of interesting to find out and learn, but it's awesome, and I encourage people to do at-home workouts as well. It's great to wake up and do something like a couple push-ups, sit-ups. At first, like I was doing just like pre-workout to get started to wake myself up in the morning, and then a buddy of mine, he said, drink 2 glasses of water.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Rather than, it's almost exact energy as you get from just pre-workout.
Really?
Yeah,
okay, that's the tip I'm taking with me. We also want to learn some exercises today, so where should we start?
We can start with some stretching, get our body warmed up, get the blood flowing.
Sorry for the wardrobe. We'll have to pretend this is workout-friendly gear.
We're here. Let's go.
We'll see what we can do. All right. So which stretch do you like?
Most of the time, I start on the floor with my clients, and I get them to move their legs. But because we're in a dress today, we'll just
Happy Pride. Let's go, baby.
yeah.
All right, let's do it. We can do something.
So I normally have everyone hold it for 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And should this be like you could feel it in your abs?
8, 9.
We
10,
don't have to go a
11.
full 30 since we're TV time. We'll pretend it's 30 seconds and then.
Reach up, rotate your shoulders.
Is
get
this what you
everything
call a
moved.
dynamic stretch because you're getting your juices
Full
going?
body, yeah.
All right.
And then typically, because we don't have a bike here,
Yeah.
I have them on the bike for 5 minutes, or you can do a full body row. A full
Okay.
body row is really great for your exercise
that
and
feels
getting
good.
moved.
Okay.
If anything,
Right. So let's say we're warmed up and ready.
Let's hit the resistance
Show
bands.
us. I see those bands at the gym, and I don't know what to do with
At
them.
all.
So please show me.
okay, a couple of tricks. For instance, like if you're at home, you know what to do. Like you can lock one side in at the door, or you can always place one under your foot like this. Make sure it's level on both sides. It's even. Just curl up and just go up.
It's like a bar. You
Yeah,
can do a bicep
exactly.
curl.
All right, give me a go.
Easy.
Let's
Yeah.
have a go here.
Easy, fast.
I'll try the other one.
Here we go.
Okay.
Shame on national television. Here we go.
No
And just bring
shame.
it out
Yeah, you just bring it up nice and easy,
slowly. Like how far? Just to
just like
there?
that. Go all the way up.
Oh,
Yeah, I can
that's
feel.
so good.
And
I
then-
didn't know you could work out your
and
biceps.
How many
Typically,
reps
just
should
a
I do
band.
with this?
It depends. If you want to do a progressive overload, you can slowly increase weight
Oh, man,
over
this
time.
is- I'm not
So
holding it down.
as,
There
for
we go.
instance, like you do 10 reps at first, and then you add more weight, and then you
I gotcha.
decrease your reps and add more weight, and then decrease your reps and add even more weight.
Can you feel that?
Yeah, I can. That feels really good. I can't stop.
And then you can also switch to the sides,
Oh,
right?
Oh, look at that. How you feeling, Matt? You
Well,
warmed up?
I'm warmed up. I'm ready to do a
right,
push-up because I saw
wanna
you
do a
do a
push-up?
quick
Yeah.
push-up.
All right.
Well,
do some push-ups?
You do a push-up while we,
All right.
Please say
go
goodbye.
toss to break. Thank you so much, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Good to have you here. And we're going to share this story on bloomtampabay.com as Jeff shows us the right form for a
So
push-up.
make sure your feet are in line, your hands are shoulder width apart, make sure your back is straight, steady. You can either keep the head down or look straight up, either way.
All right.
Go all the way down, slowly hold, go back up.
All right. Bloom will be right back. Welcome back to Bloom. Get your taste buds ready for delicious French cuisine with a healthy twist.
Joining us now is the owner of Alsace French Bistro and the author of Let's Cook French, David Weiss. Welcome to Bloom.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Hi, David. It's
What a
nice to have you
pleasure.
here.
I'm
You brought
excited.
a lot of fun tools that you're
Yeah.
going to show us. What are we making?
So I thought today we're gonna make some creme brulee. It's a very traditional, people love it at the restaurant. And we give it a little French twist by adding some lavender seeds on it.
Oh, I like that. And then,
Yeah.
see, it's healthy because it's got lavender, right? We put some
I
lavender
was
in.
like, you know, in life, I would always say, like a little, you know, a little dessert, a little something on the side can't hurt, right?
Exactly. You eat a salad and then you have a little French
Exactly.
dessert.
It's all about balance. That is healthy. So where do we start? Where are the ingredients?
So actually, let's start with the heavy cream. So I have 4 cups of heavy cream that I'm gonna pour in here. And now we're gonna make it French by adding some lavender seeds.
We're in Provence, ladies and gentlemen.
Provence.
The smells of Provence.
David, tell us
Yes.
about the story while you're doing this, about your journey from France.
So for me, cooking it was always a dream. This is something I went to school for. I did pastry classes and everything, and I worked in Germany for 10 years. I got an opportunity in America. I always loved America. Ended up in Wisconsin. Survived 2 winters, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for Florida.
Smart man.
Bought a restaurant, and here I am for 7 years.
And
So
here we
where did
go.
you grow up? France?
So I grew up in France, yeah, Alsace region, which
Alsace
is attached to Germany, yes. So
Ah.
my mom is German, my dad is French, so bilingual, yeah.
And a fun fact that he was sharing with us before is they have their own dialect. So it's more German than French, even though it's part of France, which is very
And
interesting.
it's called Alsatian, yes.
Alsatian.
Yes.
Okay, so what is happening here with our
So
concoction?
we're gonna infuse the lavenders in the cream. So that will take about 5 minutes. So meanwhile, if you want to clarify the eggs.
Okay, define what that means. We're like, oh, what?
I got you, no worries, no worries. So you have to separate the egg yolk from the egg white.
Oh, okay, that's easy. That I get. See, hence the gloves.
Wow.
All right, how many eggs?
All of them. So we're gonna need 8 eggs.
Okay.
Look at the scale here.
This is
Oh
how
my
I do it.
goodness.
I don't know. That's how I do it. Is that right, Chef, or wrong?
That's you practiced before, huh?
Yeah.
Thank God you didn't ask me to do this.
I didn't know it was called clarifying the eggs. He had to
Clarifying eggs,
clarify that.
That's so funny. So tell us about the cookbook that you recently released. Well, Maggie cracks.
Yeah, that was always something that was in the back of my mind. People were always asking about the recipes, but also about the story of that French chef that came from the little town in Alsace and ended up on a little island in Terre Verde here in Florida. So I spent 2 months creating that book. All the recipes are dishes that I have at the restaurant. So for me, it was very important to make them easy. So
I saved it.
yeah, for me, it was important to make it easy for everybody to be able to create French recipes at home. Simple, quick, and delicious.
Well, and succinct.
Yes, exactly.
You've done this before, my friend. All right, what are we doing next in this bowl
that
over
part
here?
is done, so I'm going to lose the gloves.
Oh,
Are we whisking?
You whisking, and he's adding 4 exactly
We're doing this together?
tablespoons of sugar.
Okay. Let's get a little sorbet action.
There you go.
He's like, you don't have to do it like
Shake it
that.
up, shake it up.
3,
Here we go.
4.
4.
Parfait.
Parfait.
Bam!
Oui.
Yeah,
Okay.
good job.
So now we have it. Now do we add it in there?
So actually, you're gonna wait a little bit, but do you want to quick a little bit more?
A vigorous whisk
Yes,
is what
yes.
is required.
This is where the training comes in.
There we
Yes, chef.
No, you're fine.
Now I want to make sure that we have time for the best part of creme brulee, which is the brulee portion of it.
Exactly.
So does all this cook together for how long?
So once this is going to heat up, so let's give it like 2 more minutes.
Well, we could pretend that it's hot for TV purposes.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we're gonna. Okay. Well, then just do it in here.
Yeah. So once it's hot, you wait till it's hot.
So we wait until it's hot. So we're gonna transfer it in this bowl, mix everything, put in those beautiful little bowls right here, those
Okay.
dishes.
And presto.
Voila.
All right, so
Okay.
we will do that.
Should we do it?
Sure.
Okay. So because you don't want the
This out.
seeds in it.
There we go.
Okay, that's what the strainer is for. So the lavender just infuses it with flavor.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So now, if you're not a big lavender fan, you can do it with chocolate, vanilla, whatever
There you
comes
go.
in.
I like the sound of that.
Okay. Where's the?
Oh, the whisk.
whisk.
I need this one. Thank you.
All right, so
there.
we can pour it into the container so that you could show us how you brulee.
Exactly.
Brulee all day.
Lay all day. Okay. I need the sugar.
There we go. Oh, sugar behind.
Thank you, sir.
Here we go.
Yeah, good job.
Oh, it smells really
It
good.
really does. You
It's
can really
like,
smell
I can
the
smell the lavender.
It's lovely.
Good job, David.
Perfect. She does a good job.
I want to ask you why we're doing this.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you, Pride Month? What does this mean to you as a, a business owner, as a gay man?
Well, for me, it means a lot because I got a lot of support, even though I am a gay person, working in a French restaurant, surrounded by more elderly people. And it's also very important for me when I hire people that I first reach out to the gay community and give them the opportunity to work in a gay, safe place and where they feel welcome and loved. And most of my staff are LGBT,
Wow.
queer
Well,
people.
bravo
Yeah,
and
it's very
congratulations.
important, yeah.
And now for the grand finale right
Grand
here.
finale. Torch, baby.
We pour some sugar on there.
Okay. Well, I would do one and Matt does the other one. What about that?
Oh boy, I think we only have time for
We
one.
got one.
And
Okay.
that's probably
Make
a good
it
thing.
count, David. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you saying? Here we go.
Here we go.
This is so fun. I love when they do this at a restaurant tableside.
I know. This is the
You get
best
to
part,
see the
right?
fun part.
Oh.
And there he is, the master in action, David Weiss. Thank you for sharing your story
You're welcome.
and your recipe
You're welcome
today.
so much. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And we're going to share this story on bloomtampabay.com.
Stick around. Your fave flight attendant, Brenda Morales, is up next with tips for healthy summer travel.
Bloom will be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back to Bloom. Summer has hit, and as the world changes at such a fast pace, travel is top of mind for many of us.
Joining us now to discuss tips and inside info on staying healthy, happy, and safe when you're heading off on your adventures of a lifetime is Brenda Orellis, aka Flight Baby.
Ooh, Flight Baby. You look gorgeous. I love the wings.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction.
You're
yes,
welcome.
Absolutely.
So you are a flight attendant.
Yes.
So you are very aware of all the destinations and all the initiatives out there available to people right now, specifically for the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes, absolutely.
It's nice to see that happening.
Yeah, you know what? The world is changing, and there's a lot more travel destinations that are opening up for the community that were once off limits. So I'm excited to share that.
Very good. So would you like to share a couple of them with us?
Absolutely. So I think first on the list for LGBTQIA friendly destination is going to be, for me, South Africa. I think tourism to Africa is literally the new wave, and South Africa has made so many great initiatives of welcoming the community, having influencers and people in higher positions that are not only advocating for tourism there, but also creating an atmosphere and an ecosystem that allows them to thrive, have events, and be inclusive. So I think South Africa should be that first destination that people head to. Then, I think number two, oldie but goodie, is Amsterdam. I think Amsterdam is brilliant because it is not only, the tides are not just changing, it's really rooted in the history of Amsterdam, and also the events that they have, and also the pride events. They have one of the largest prides in the entire world. I've actually participated. These are all destinations that I've been to personally.
I like that.
Yes, so these are places that I've seen firsthand, the inclusivity and also the events and also the different programming that's available. I think Amsterdam does a great job of doing that. Then, let's see, number three, Barcelona.
Oh, yes, please.
Join me in.
Honey,
Yes, I love Barcelona.
Barcelona is absolutely brilliant, not only for their inclusion, but they also have a district that has so many different inclusive bars and restaurants and clothing boutiques that have funky little outfits. I think Barcelona overall is a great destination as well.
So for me, when you're going to these places, what are some tips for safety that you come out of it and you actually have a memorable vacation, not something with, you know, the other side of the coin?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think my number one tip when you're traveling, no matter where you identify, is understanding the laws of the land. While all countries have different initiatives and different tolerance levels, I think it's super important we as travelers take it upon ourselves to do research and find out what the pulse is. So checking out travel advisories. I also would reach out for people who are in the LGBTQIA community. I would actually take it a step further and reach out to different community activists in the countries that you're visiting, because those are going to be the people who are telling you the reality of the matter. There's going to be the, you know, the public face of like, yeah, everybody's welcome, and then you speak to people who are actually on the ground, and they're like, actually, you know, right now is not a good time to come because of, you know, XYZ that's happening, or actually, this is a great time. These are the initiatives that we've taken, and things are changing. Hence South Africa,
That's
right?
interesting. So you suggest reaching out before you plan a trip to each place, even if it's billed as LGBTQ friendly.
Yes.
Is this a good time to come?
Yes, because I think countries have their forward face, their tourist face, and then there's the reality of what's happening on the ground. So definitely reaching out to someone that is in your community and can give you real insight, like kind of, you know, behind the scenes information. And then of course the internet is our best friend. Getting on there and finding out. I would tweet. I love Twitter because Twitter discourse and threads in the countries that you're traveling to. You can always tweet Milan gay tourists or LGBTQIA tourists and see Twitter threads where they're having open discussions, and I would always set it to most recent so you can kind of see what's happening in the now. And then, yeah, I think Twitter is great as far as research is concerned, and then also reaching out to your embassy. So the embassy in the location that you're traveling to, if you can't find anybody that's on the ground, they're also going to give you more information because you are their responsibility once you enter into the country.
Great information, Brenda. Thanks for being here to share it.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
We'll share this story on bloomtampabay.com.
And before we go to break, it is time for today's Bloom trivia question. Here it is. In 2022, which city was ranked the best in the world to celebrate Pride? Was it New York City, Paris, or London? Matt, what say you?
Sydney, Australia?
Not one of the choices. What do you think, Brenda?
Paris.
All right, we'll have the answer later on Bloom. Welcome back to Bloom. Today we're celebrating Pride Month, and our next guest is known for his music that focuses on love and acceptance.
Gail got the chance to talk with him when he released his comeback album, Jacob, and hit song, Till You Get There.
Every scar, every broken heart is exactly what you needed, I swear, but you won't know it till you get there.
Ty Herndon, welcome to Bloom. What a pleasure it is to have you on the show, and I love the song.
Thank you so much. I think I lost like 5 pounds with that video, but I've been caring for my mom for the last month, and I've gained it all back. I'm quite sure.
Oh, no, you look amazing, and I'm glad to hear your mom is on the mend, that's for sure, sending love and prayers her way. And you have a brand new album out called Jacob, and your first radio single in more than a decade is moving up the charts so quickly. Tell us about the new music and how it feels to be back on the charts after a pretty extended absence.
Well, you know, I was laughing with my friend Terry Clark the other day. I was doing her radio show, and she said, "You got a song on the charts." I was like, "I know, it's kind of crazy, isn't it?" I said, I thought we were out to pasture. She goes, "I think we are." That's what we say in country music when we're not actually on the radio and we're touring and we're doing all kind of other stuff. It's a little bit of a joke. I said, "Well, I guess I found a hole in the fence."
I love that. I grew up on a dairy farm here in Florida, and we would always say when you're put out to pasture, so I totally get it. This album, though, it tackles some pretty heavy subjects, and I know that's going to resonate with a lot of folks, especially those struggling right now with their own mental health issues. And you were very transparent about your own near suicide. Yes.
You know, I've lived to see a lot of crazy things in my life, and I've traveled some dirt roads and I've traveled some smooth roads, but just after COVID, you know, I just started seeing like devastation. It was pretty devastating just to walk outside and see no one on the streets. I'm a musician. I'm social, and all of a sudden we were in retirement. You know, I don't really blame my mental issues on COVID, but it was I think the trampoline that kind of threw me in the corner. And man, I never in a million years thought that there were answers to all the pain that I was in. And so an experience like that, just kind of dead man walking, brought me to the most beautiful time in my life that I've ever known, just understanding my disease, understanding my mental abilities, and understanding that there were things going on inside of me that were out of my control. But with a lot of work and some great counselors, I've just become just a soldier for mental health and sobriety, and it's kind of my magic kingdom. I'm tall enough for all the rides.
I think that is so beautiful, and people that are listening right now, because when you're suffering with mental illness and you don't feel well, you feel very, very alone. So to hear your words and to hear your hope is going to really translate and resonate in such a big way. I just know it.
Thank you. Thank you. I like saying this. There's a song on the new album called Lean In. It's just about checking on your neighbors, checking on people. And I can tell you, before COVID, I probably knew 2 people on my street. By the end of it right now today, I know 125 people. And so much so, they see me coming, they're like, "Herndon, we're fine, we're fine."
I love that. I love that. And it's not just the album. You've got a brand new podcast called Soundboard in partnership with Pivotal Movements Media. Tell me about that.
Well, these guys are amazing. They're one of the leaders in mental health. And actually, my friend Tamara at Dad Allen was running a record label 14 years ago, that got me my first Grammy nomination. And she knew what I was doing. She knew about the music. She knew about my life. And she said, "We got this great new label." And the minute she said mental health, I'm like, we're perfect for each other. But I never thought in a million years that I'd be working in this business that I'm in to make music that matters, to be heard. And when I say heard, it's kind of like a sermon. It's a teacher preacher thing. I'm learning something new every day, and I get to pass it along. That pay it forward thing that might just possibly help somebody just to take a look in the mirror and see the beauty of who they are, and not the negative, awful voices. So it's a gift to be able to do that.
Well, Ty, you're a gift, and we so appreciate you joining us on Bloom. And again, I'm glad you are on such a successful road right now, and you always have been, but you're right back there driving in the right direction. And again, our love and prayer to your mom. I know you're there taking care of her, so we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. We really do. Thank you, Ty.
You almost made me cry now.
Very powerful. And Ty's on the road touring right now, so we wish him well.
We do. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
It's time for today's Bloom trivia question. In 2022, which city was ranked the best in the world to celebrate Pride? New York City, Paris, or London?
The answer is Paris. Brenda was right. According to travelandleisure.com, the City of Light came in at #1, followed by Berlin, Stockholm, and New York City. And that does it for us. Thank you again to Matt for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.
It was wonderful, and we hope you'll tune in again on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We're diving into summer and exploring summer health trends. So stay healthy, everyone. We'll see you next time on Bloom.